tuning in for the review of the best products available today. These models were chosen from a large variety of products based on their overall performance and review of thousands of consumers that have purchased them through countless hours of research, side-by-side comparisons. It's believed that the following products are indeed the best on the market today. Please take a moment to follow the product links listed below to each product for more information. Sit back and relax while you watch the best highly recommended products for this year.
What's up everybody, this is Eric from Southwest Archery. I have in front of me here a Spyder Takedown Recurve Bow from Southwest Archery. I'm going to go ahead and do the unboxing and assembly process and walk you guys through how to set your bow up for you. Upon receiving your bow, when you open it up, there'll be a few goodies inside. Some of those goodies include a sleeve for your cold ones. You also have this insert card. On this insert card, there's good information on some giveaways that Southwest Archery does on a monthly basis. We have a chance to win a dozen free victory arrows. On the back side, it outlines our brand ambassador program. Basically, if you take your Southwest Archery bow to your local dealer, show them the bow, get the dealer to carry a brand, then we will send you a free bow of your choice. So all the information is outlined on that card. There's also an owner's manual inside that will walk you through everything that I'm going to discuss in this video, such as setting your bow up, setting brace height, and stringing it up for the first time. So now that we've got those out of the way, we get all the good stuff. Inside there are three primary pieces. Those pieces include the riser, a pair of limbs, and the string. Starting with the riser, go ahead and pull the protective sleeves off of them. Inside there's an included Allen wrench tool for your limb bolts. Once you get the riser out of its sleeve, you can see the riser itself has all kinds of bushings for optional accessories that you can equip onto your bow. Some of those accessories include bushings for a sight. You have a bushing for a plunger or arrow rest. And on the front face of the riser, you have an insert for a stabilizer or a bow fishing reel. So limb bolts are included in the limb pockets when you receive your bow. So I'll go ahead and set that over here for now. You also have a pair of limbs. On the limbs themselves, you can see that one limb has a logo on it and the other limb is blank. You know that the lower limb is the one with the logo, so when you assemble the bow, logo, lower limb. On the limb also, there's a sticker. The sticker will outline the overall length of the bow, as well as the draw weight, and below it, all Southwest Archery products have serial numbers. Make sure you go onto Southwest Archery's website, southwestarcheryusa.com, register your bow for your 1-year manufacturer warranty. And lastly, you have your string. Get your string out of that bag here. Also within the bag that your string is included, there is an adhesive stick-on arrow rest. Depending on the hand orientation of the bow, you'll have a matching arrow rest, whether it be left or right-handed. And then the string. One thing to note on the string itself, when we assembled the bow, if you take a look at the string loops, there are two different size string loops. You can see one is much larger than the other. The larger loop goes on the upper limb, and I'll cover that when we assemble the bow. Alright guys, now that we have all of the packaging out of the way, all the essential items here in front of us, we can go ahead and start assembling the bow. First things first, I want to go ahead and point out that this bow in front of me is in fact a right-handed bow. We offer them in both left and right-handed orientations. Easiest and simplest way to determine which one works for you is knowing that right-handed bows are held in the left hand and drawn with the right hand. Vice versa, left-handed bows are held in the right hand and drawn with the left hand. Okay, so now that we know that this particular bow is a right-handed one, so there's no confusion, we can go ahead and start putting the limbs on. As I mentioned previously, the logo on the lower limb. So grab the lower limb, the one with the logo, and we can go ahead and start putting it into the riser. I also briefly mentioned that the limb bolts come pre-installed into the riser, so I've already gone ahead and taken the limb bolts out in preparation for the assembly. So now that we have the lower limb, I can go ahead and put the lower limb into the limb pocket, knowing that the shoulder of the limb bolt faces up. That way you know the limb is installed appropriately. You can take a limb bolt and go ahead and thread it right into the limb pocket. I'll come back and tighten that up with an Allen tool. And I'm going to do the same for the upper limb. Shoulder facing up, limb bolt into the limb bushing and go ahead and tighten it down. You can grab your Allen tool at this time. Now you don't want to over tighten these, just nice and snug. There's no reason to crank on it and strip it out. They don't need to be super, super tight. So once I have it tightened down, I can go ahead and give it a nice little turn like this. And go ahead and tighten down the lower side as well. Once you get it all the way down, give it a little turn, make it nice and snug. Now that the limbs are installed accordingly, we can go ahead and put the arrow rest on. Now you have a couple different options for aftermarket accessories. This particular bow includes a plastic adhesive style rest. It'll match the hand orientation of the riser that you ordered, so whether you got a left or right-handed, you'll get a rest that'll match it. This is as simple as peeling the backing off the backside, okay, and then lining it up above the shelf pad with the hole for the arrow rest if you were going to run an aftermarket. The one that's included has a hole as well, and you can go ahead and just line it up over it, push it down, and it's a little flipper style. You're good to go. So now that the bow's assembled, we can go ahead and put the string on. The stringing process is as simple as getting the string set onto the bow, and then you want to always make sure that you're using a stringer tool to assemble your bow. That's the only safe way to put any recurve bow together, is using a proper stringer tool. It's also the only way that you can keep your 1-year manufacturer warranty with Southwest Archery, is to ensure that you're using a stringer tool to assemble your bow accordingly. So now that we know that, we can take our string. The larger loop is going to go over the upper limb, like so, okay? You're going to drape it all the way through and go over the string groove and just let it rest right here in the middle. That will give you enough room to then take the lower string groove, and you can take the loop and go ahead and notch it into the groove accordingly. Now pull the slack out. Once you have the slack out and it's set up something like this, we can go ahead and take our stringer tool and finish assembling it. Alright guys, now that we have the bow assembled, it's time for the stringing process. Now there's a wide variety of stringer tool options out there on the market. Fortunately, Southwest Archery manufactures their own version. It's a universal stringer tool. It'll work on just about any traditional bow. So go ahead and open the stringer tool here, and I want to point out one very important aspect though, is that on this stringer tool you'll notice that there are 2 different size rubber end caps. The reason this is important is because the larger end cap is going to go over the limb that had the smaller loop side. Easier just to probably show you on the bow itself. Previously, as I showed you, we slid the larger loop over the upper limb, and the smaller loop we go and put on the string groove of the lower limb. You're going to want to take the larger cap and cover so that way it encloses that string groove and traps the string inside of there. You're going to go ahead and take the other end and put it over the limb tip on the upper limb. And then it's as simple as standing on the stringer tool. You can spread your legs to get a wider stance. Pull up towards you with the bow, and as you're doing so, you're going to slide the string over the string groove. Okay? Bam! Now your bow is completely strung. You can remove the stringer tool, and you have the finished product of a completely assembled Southwest Archery Spyder Takedown Recurve Bow.